this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this scrappy modern version of a Sawtooth star, which is used in some of my Blissfield bundle colors from Benartex, which are part of their Superior Solids. Then let's make that together. So you're going to have your pieces cut. So you need one 6.5 inch square, and then you need of 4 different colors, 2 3.5 inch squares of each of these 4 colors. And then for your background fabrics, you need 4 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles and 4 3.5 by 3.5 inch squares. These are all your pieces that you'll need to make it the scrappy way. Again, if you want to make the double sawtooth star that's less scrappy this way, I've included that download for you. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set our A square aside because this is the center part of our sawtooth star. And what we're going to do is we're also going to set aside our 4 background 3.5 inch squares. We'll need those later. Right now, we're just going to work with these fabrics. And so what you're going to do is, and I've got these in order of how they set around the block like this, so that I kind of remember how I want to place them. But what we're going to do is on the back of all of these, we are going to draw diagonal lines. So you'll just take your ruler and on the back of each of them, draw a diagonal line and set them to the side. Now when I draw my diagonal line, I like to start in the middle and work my way out, and that keeps the fabric from kind of pulling and warping it all, rather than starting at the very end and pulling the pencil down. If you start in the middle and work your way out like that, it works a lot better. You could actually choose, if you wanted, to use all different colors for each of your points. If you didn't want to use 2 of each, you could choose to make this however you want with any of your scraps. There's a lot of different combinations of fabrics that you could use. That one's a little harder to see. I'm going to use, I have a white marking pencil, so let's use that one so you can see that better. On the darker fabrics, it can be harder to see some of the lines there. And then our last set here, we'll draw those lines. And then you'll actually be able to take all of these over to the sewing machine and stitch all of these at the same time. Whoops, see what happened when I started up there? It pulled that down just a little bit. Okay, so what you're gonna do is with each of these, I'll put them back in order. You're going to take one of your 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles, and you are going to sew on the diagonal line. And then we're going to cut a 1/4 inch away from this when we're done. So what I like to do is go ahead and pin all of them at once. So we'll start here on the left-hand side of, and a pink one. All right, so now we have all of our 3.5 inch squares. They are pinned down to the left side of your rectangle. So we're going to sew on the diagonal line on each one of these, and then we're going to come back and we're going to cut a 1/4 inch away to cut off the corners of each of these. So I'm just going to take each one of these and I'm just going to chain stitch these through. We're going to sew on the diagonal line. And I actually can turn off my reverse stitch. I really don't need that setting on here for these. And then I'll just grab the next one, make sure that's on there really well, and then just continue to stitch on this diagonal line down all 4 of these. Grab my 3rd one there. And then the last one, okay, and then I'm gonna use this little cutter here and cut all of those. And then let's go back and cut off our corners. So we're just gonna take our ruler, and you'll line up your ruler. So this is showing there's a 1/4 inch right here. So we're gonna put that line on the ruler here on our stitch line, and we're gonna cut a 1/4 inch away. And you can save these if you want, and they'll make little mini half square triangles. So if you sew a 1/4 inch on the edge there, these will open up and you'll have some little half square triangles if you wanted to do something else with those, if you didn't want to waste them. And that's what we'll do for each one of these, is cut off those corners. This is a super simple block to make, and like I said, you can make it as scrappy or non-scrappy as you like. But this method is the stitch and flip method, which I really prefer over flying geese method. I mean, it makes flying geese, but it's just a different way of doing it. Now we're gonna go to the pressing station and we're gonna press all of these. So I like to set my seam. So we'll set our seam, and then we will press towards the bottom of the rectangle. And I do like to use starch. It really keeps everything nice and firm and crisp. And I find that things line up a lot better when I do. So we'll set the seam. And we will press that down. For all of these. And then we're going to go back and we're actually going to pick the mate that matches these, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side of the rectangle. And then we will have what I call our cheater flying geese. Okay, so now we're going to take our matching 3.5 inch square, or if you're using just all different colors, take another one, and we'll place it on the other side. And again, you're wanting to make sure there's a V that forms like this. And I'm gonna pin that in place, just so it doesn't move. And we'll do it for each one of these. Again, double check, make sure you've got a V. What's nice too is these don't have to be trimmed down when you do this method as well. With the other kind of normal flying geese method, you often will have to trim. And so with this, you really don't have as much wasted fabric other than the corners that you trim off. We'll pin that in place. Okay, then we're gonna go with the sewing machine and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna sew on the diagonal line and we'll chain stitch each one of these. Okay, so we have stitched those down again. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna lay our ruler, we're gonna lay our line right there on our stitch line, and we're gonna cut a 1/4 inch away from our stitch line on all 4 of these units. And then we will press, and we'll actually be able to lay out our pieces and actually assemble our block. So this is a super easy block. It's a very traditional block, and you can make it as scrappy or non-scrappy as you want. All right, so let's go press these, and we're gonna press them away from our rectangle. Okay, there we go. So now we can get our A square as well as our 4 3.5 inch square background squares. And I like to just go ahead, and I use a rotating cutting mat to lay my pieces out, and then I carry it over to the sewing machine. You could use a design board if you want. So we'll lay our 6.5 inch square out, And then go ahead and lay your background pieces on all 4 corners here. And then we're going to grab our flying geese and we're going to lay those out. And so I'm going to lay those out just like the photo that I made for the sampler quilt. And there we go. This is how these will be laid out. Now, we're going to do is sew our rows together. So you're going to sew this row together, this row together, and this row together. And then we'll come back and join those rows. Okay, so now we have our rows sewn together. So now we're going to go to the pressing station and we're going to press. So we're going to press this direction for these 2. Then we're going to press these 2 seams in and then these 2 seams back out again. And that will help us be able to nest. Okay, so now that we've pressed in, out, and in, now it's time to go ahead and nest. So we're going to take our top row and we are going to nest those seams and pin. And pinning will help keep your pieces from shifting. So we'll just get those lined up there. And we're going to stitch 1/4 inch all the way down. Okay, and now we're going to take our bottom row and we're going to turn right sides together. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to nest our seams. And pin. Just like that. And we'll sew 1/4 inch all the way down. And there we go. There's your Sawtooth star. Now, what you'll want to do is do one more press. And so we'll press both of these towards the center here, and it'll make it nice and flat. There you go. There is your Blissfield double Sawtooth star. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I can't wait to see some of your Sawtooth stars. So feel free to tag me on social media at Seam Sew Me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube. So until next time, quilty friends, make lovely things.